Sometimes the moments that capture people's attention aren't the ones carefully planned for a red carpet or a television stage. They're the moments that feel spontaneous, personal, and just a little unexpected. That's exactly why so many people found themselves talking after seeing Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelo's daughter, Lola, reveal a striking new look that quickly sparked reactions across social media. Alongside the images came a simple caption, "We did have fun." It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't designed to create controversy. Yet somehow, those 4 words made the entire moment feel even more genuine. There's something fascinating about watching the children of well-known television personalities gradually build identities of their own. For years, audiences have watched Kelly and Mark share little stories about family life. Sometimes hilarious, sometimes heartfelt, often surprisingly relatable despite their celebrity status. Viewers have heard about parenting challenges, proud milestones, and the bittersweet realization that their children were growing up. So when Lola appears with a fresh new style, people aren't just reacting to a different hairstyle or fashion choice. They're recognizing another chapter in a journey they've quietly followed for years. That's part of what makes this story resonate beyond a simple celebrity update. Many fans immediately focused on how confident Lola appeared. It wasn't only the change itself that drew attention. It was the way she carried herself. Confidence has a way of changing how people perceive every detail, and that seemed to be the case here. The images suggested someone comfortable experimenting, embracing change, and enjoying the experience rather than seeking approval. That may explain why so many reactions online centered less on surprise and more on admiration. Of course, style transformations often become conversation starters, especially when someone has grown up in the public eye. People naturally compare old photos with new ones. They notice subtle differences that might otherwise go unnoticed. But perhaps the more interesting question isn't why Lola changed her look. It's why audiences feel so emotionally invested whenever she shares even a small glimpse into her life. The answer may have something to do with the example Kelly and Mark have set over the years. Unlike many celebrity families who constantly invite cameras into every aspect of their private lives, Kelly and Mark have often spoken about protecting their children's independence. They've certainly shared funny family stories on television, but they've also made it clear that their kids deserve room to discover themselves away from endless public expectations. That balance has always been one of the qualities audiences seem to appreciate most about them. It's easy to forget just how unusual that approach can be in today's entertainment landscape. Fame often encourages constant visibility, yet Kelly and Mark have generally allowed their children to step into the spotlight only when they choose. That makes moments like this feel less manufactured and more authentic. Perhaps that's why Lola's caption stood out. "We did have fun." There's warmth in those words. No lengthy explanation. No attempt to justify the change. No dramatic announcement about reinventing herself. Just a reminder that sometimes trying something different can simply be enjoyable. In many ways, that simplicity made the moment even more relatable. Who hasn't experimented with a new hairstyle, a different wardrobe, or a bold fashion decision just because it sounded fun? Most people have experienced that mixture of excitement and uncertainty that comes with seeing a new version of themselves in the mirror. Whether the change lasts for years or only a few weeks almost becomes secondary. The experience itself becomes part of growing up. That universal feeling may explain why fans connected so strongly. It's interesting to think about Kelly's perspective as a mother. Throughout the years on television, she's often spoken openly about parenting, from celebrating milestones to admitting how emotional it can be watching children become independent adults. While she has shared plenty of humorous stories, there's usually an underlying message of respect for her children's individuality. That respect appears to have remained consistent as Lola has grown older. Rather than trying to shape every public moment, Kelly and Mark seem comfortable allowing their daughter to define herself in her own way. That isn't always easy for parents, particularly when millions of people are ready to comment on every photo. Perhaps that's another reason audiences continue rooting for this family. Viewers don't simply see celebrity success. They often see familiar family dynamics playing out on a much larger stage. Parents watching may recognize the bittersweet process of letting children make their own decisions. Younger viewers may relate to wanting the freedom to explore their identity without feeling judged. Somewhere in the middle, Kelly and Mark have managed to create a public image built not on perfection but on authenticity. That authenticity has long been one of the defining features of their relationship as well. Anyone who has watched them together on television knows they rarely present themselves as an idealized couple. Instead, audiences see playful teasing, shared laughter, occasional disagreements, and genuine affection. Their chemistry often feels less like performance and more like two people who genuinely enjoy one another's company after decades together. That dynamic inevitably shapes how people view their family. When fans see Lola confidently expressing herself, some naturally interpret it as evidence of a home environment where individuality is encouraged. While only the family truly knows their private experiences, it's understandable why viewers make that connection based on years of watching Kelly and Mark interact. Body language has always played an interesting role in how audiences connect with television personalities. Kelly and Mark frequently communicate through subtle smiles, quick glances, playful expressions, and comfortable silences that suggest years of shared understanding. Those little moments often leave a stronger impression than carefully prepared speeches. Perhaps families influence one another in similar quiet ways. Confidence isn't always taught through direct advice. Sometimes it's modeled through everyday behavior, through parents who encourage curiosity, support creativity, and accept that growing up involves experimentation. Whether that's exactly what happened here is something only the family could fully explain. But it's one possible reason why this seemingly simple update resonated with so many people. Another fascinating aspect of celebrity culture is how quickly appearance changes become symbols of personal growth. A new look can represent confidence, independence, artistic expression, or simply a desire to try something different. Without additional context, it's impossible to know exactly what inspired the decision, and it's important not to assume more than what's been shared publicly. Still, people naturally search for meaning in visual moments. Perhaps that's because appearance often becomes one of the easiest ways for individuals to communicate change without saying very much at all. And maybe that's why Lola's caption felt so refreshing. Rather than encouraging endless speculation, it gently redirected attention toward the experience itself. The emphasis wasn't on shocking anyone. It was about enjoying a moment. Sometimes that's enough. Kelly and Mark have spent decades building careers that depend on conversation, storytelling, and connecting with audiences. Ironically, one of the strongest lessons they've demonstrated may be knowing what doesn't need to be explained. Not every family memory requires a detailed narrative. Not every photograph demands an emotional confession. There can be beauty in leaving a little space for interpretation. That balance between openness and privacy may be one of the reasons their audience has remained so loyal through changing television trends and evolving media platforms. Viewers have grown alongside them. People who once watched Kelly during the early years of her career now find themselves seeing reflections of their own families and stories about adult children discovering who they want to become. That creates an emotional continuity few television personalities achieve. It's no longer simply about celebrity updates. It's about watching time pass. Watching children become adults. Watching relationships evolve instead of fading. Watching a family continue adapting to new chapters while maintaining the warmth that first attracted audiences years ago. Perhaps that's the deeper story hidden beneath this latest moment. Yes, Lola's striking new appearance generated headlines. Yes, fans expressed surprise and admiration. But beneath those immediate reactions lies something more meaningful, a reminder that personal growth rarely happens all at once. It unfolds through countless small moments, quiet decisions, and experiences that may seem ordinary until we look back years later. For parents, those moments can feel bittersweet. For children, they often feel exciting. For viewers who have followed Kelly and Mark over the years, they become another memorable milestone in a story that continues to evolve. And maybe that's why people continue caring. Not because every family update is extraordinary. Not because every photo changes the entertainment world. But because authenticity still has remarkable power. In an era filled with carefully curated online personas, simple moments of genuine happiness often stand out the most. Whether Lola's new look lasts for months or eventually changes again almost isn't the point. Styles evolve. Trends come and go. Hair grows. Fashion shifts. Personal taste develops. What remains is the confidence to embrace those changes without fear. That's a lesson that reaches far beyond celebrity families. It's something many viewers can recognize in their own lives, whether they're beginning a new career, moving to a different city, or simply deciding it's time for a fresh start. Sometimes change begins with something as small as trying a different look. Sometimes it represents something much bigger. Either way, it's part of becoming who we are. Perhaps that's why this moment stayed with so many people after the scrolling stopped. It wasn't just about appearance. It became a quiet reminder that growth can be joyful, confidence can be contagious, and family support often provides the foundation that makes personal evolution possible. And maybe that's the reason audiences continue returning to stories about Kelly Ripa, Mark Consuelos, and their family. Beyond the television lights and celebrity headlines, Many viewers still recognize something refreshingly human. A family navigating life's changing seasons with humor, affection, and the understanding that every new chapter deserves to be celebrated. What did you think when you saw Lola's new look? Did you simply enjoy seeing her confidence shine through, or did the moment remind you of how quickly children grow into their own identities? Share your thoughts in the comments, and let us know which Kelly and Mark family moment has stayed with you the most over the years.